Anger, which actually kills the way you can think and prevent a lot of criminal activities happening around you or maybe involving you. So today we'll be talking more about the same. Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Raj Singh Talks. Myself Raj and we will be talking about anger management today. We have Mr. Neeraj Singh with us to talk more about the same. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. As we're talking and understanding a lot about anger here, we also see that a lot of people globally are trying to conquer on their anger management. Before we talk into the details of what are the different aspects which can be helpful for different people to manage their anger, we would like to begin with the very basic things, that what is anger and why people do get angry. See, anger is yet another state, just like being happy, being sad, right? It's just another state like when you get angry with something or someone. So generally, why do we get angry is because when you start thinking someone is smarter than you, someone is more talented than you, someone is more capable of doing anything which you are also capable of doing, but more than you. He's more mature in talking to somebody else, and that becomes actually unacceptable for you. The moment you come to that point where you are not ready to accept a particular statement or particular state or maybe a particular condition, you start responding negative to it, and that's what you call it as getting angry. Because of course you would like to put that pressure on the person right opposite to you to make sure that he stops talking or she stops responding on that, and everyone starts listening to you. And that's what you basically call the anger as. And getting angry is just because of one particular point, is that you are not ready to accept that particular statement, that particular condition, which is just demonstrated during a particular discussion or maybe when it was being narrated to you. The other aspect is not only the discussion, sometimes alone you start thinking or treating yourself as a particular something. Now when I say something, it generally means that you would have done some small achievements, you would have done some small steps towards taking achievements or getting to your way, and then you start building up that negative pride to showcase to the people that I'm capable of doing all these things, which is nothing for other people, because their way of thinking towards such creativity may be different. They may not be creative enough in what you are doing, but the other people are creative with something else. So when you start showcasing yourself as, come on, I did a big job, I'm like a big shot, I've proven this, I've done this, just maybe a small thing. And that basically builds up an attitude to prove that other people are wrong. So the moment you start proving other people wrong is where you start building attitude. And that negative attitude is what we're talking about, builds up the anger, because the other person may not be always calm enough to handle or listen to you. Sometimes you get equal important or equally attitude built up guy on the other side, and they also equally respond back to you stating that, boss, I'm more than you. And then you start getting into a hot discussion, maybe a hot talk, and then you start responding to them aggressively, and that's where the anger builds up. So it's more important when you talk about such things and to control your anger and keep calm. Alright, so here as we get some of the inputs and understand few reasons associated with getting angry, can we have a list of several other reasons which people can basically understand and identify themselves that, okay, we can understand these other reasons which are basically making us angry, and we can try to work on that. Of course, actually, to be frank, there's no defined list of reasons or the criteria based on which you can get angry. It's different for different people. Some people get angry for just a discussion, some people get angry for being proven wrong, some people do not accept like unacceptable condition, like, oh, I'm a failure, and he doesn't want to accept it and he wants to ruin the world to prove that he was not a failure person or there are different reasons. It varies from people to people, category to category, male to female, and everyone has every different aspect of getting angry. It's just that there are a few common things which we can talk about and help people understand that these are some common things which generally found in the people. Why do they get angry and how they can basically overcome that. So first thing is, of course, the unacceptable part. You don't have to do that. The reason is getting a view from somebody and you are not ready to accept it. So build that attitude that no matter it's a positive, when you get a positive review for your work, you very happily accept and you say, okay, yes, right, yeah, thank you. You do not say even a single word beyond that. But when it comes to a negative, you start proving them that this is what it is. Say for example, the second thing is more than the unacceptable statements, maybe the discussions. Now, when you talk about the group discussions, or maybe when you get into a third-party discussion between your friends, and the friend puts a view about a politician or maybe a particular public figure in your country, and you start responding, no, he's not that way. He does another attitude, because you have a different intention, different thinking about that particular person. So when this thing happens, of course, the two different mindsets are trying to negotiate on this. So it's no longer a discussion. It's actually like you are trying to prove that person wrong. You're not having a discussion. You're actually trying to prove the other person wrong, that I'm right and you're not correct. Whereas your attitude at that point of time should be to convince. See, when you talk, I'm not saying that GD is actually to fight. A group discussion is an activity where you try to convince the other side. You try to convince the other people against you. You do not try to prove them wrong, or you try to prove yourself right when you are in a discussion. You always try to convince them and make sure that they agree to you by understanding the facts or figures, whatever you try to project to them. So your point has to be more valid. The other reasons accountable for getting angry could be poor listening skills. You do not have a good listening power and you never try to listen to anyone. If somebody says one thing, you try to put your nose into that discussion, no matter you were not at all invited into that discussion. And you always try to interfere in somebody else's discussion and see that if I can really, prove myself that I know better than everyone else. So having poor listening skills can also get you angry or put you into the negative attitude or that pride, which can actually keep you, always angry most of the time. So in continuation, that if we can also talk about the patience. Patience is a very important aspect when you talk about getting angry or being calm. So when you build up a lot of patience, of course, you have the capabilities to absorb things. You have the capability to listen to people calmly, no matter they're talking wrong. You have a better perception on that. You have better overviews. You have facts and figures with you. But when you give space to other people to express their views on a particular topic or particular discussion, you actually try to control yourself. And then you don't get angry because you have enough space for other people also to talk. The patience, listen to them, calm. There could be different situations which can get you angry. It's not only about discussion. We're just talking because this is very common among the youngsters today, because we get into different discussions here and there. So there are several things. It could be probably about a news editor. It could be about a newspaper. It might be about a journal, or maybe any social media post. It could be individual, like about a particular person itself that you are always negative about him. It's like more of kind of having built up that patience, which can actually create those kind of things and really help you to control your anger. That was actually a great piece of information for everyone, that working on the several reasons can actually help you to find the root cause, and the root cause definitely can have a remedy further. But can you please help us with the remedy as well, with several reasons, whatever we come across, how we can actually overcome anger? Talking about remedy, there are people who can again find different various reasons or various ways to overcome their anger and control their patience. or build up their listening skills. And there are a lot of different ways to do that. Some people recommend you yoga, some people recommend you morning jogging, or maybe different exercises which can actually heal your mind, or maybe put you to peace, which could bring down your attitude. And also spiritual worships could also help you. But I'm not talking about these, I'm not recommending them, but there's a different ways. It acts on different individuals to work on such things and see that what you can best come out of it, right? But the best thing, which I think works globally, which I basically follow towards my life and making myself anger free, is the gratitude. The gratitude is something which any individual, independent that you are following God or not, you believe in politics or not, whatever, it's independent of any dramatic situation, and it's just simple that called as gratitude. Be thankful to others. If you achieve anything, thank others for that. No matter there was no one around you, no one actually helped you while doing that, no one even reviewed your work while you were busy creating that piece of work, but when you complete and people come to see that, you thank others for the work what you have done. And we call it as art of thanking. Art of thanking actually does not let that pride build up in your mind. It does not let you create that attitude in your mind that you have done something. It will always keep you down to the earth. And it's the best way to heal yourself and overcome your anger. So let's basically understand how gratitude can be really helpful for you to manage your anger. It's you can get inspired by different things. So let me tell you a story here where I took the inspiration from about having the gratitude or having the art of thanking people for my own achievements. So this is about Mr. Charles Plum, who was a Vietnamese warrior, a veteran who had fought a lot of wars for Vietnam. And this person is actually very popular. If you want, you can just Google and know more about him. And he had fought a lot of wars for Vietnam during his time. And when actually this incident is about the last flight he took. Last flight is not supposed to be, but he was actually fighting for the last time. And he was supposed to retire after that. And he took the flight, and unfortunately during the fight or the war, his flight got crashed, it was hit by another weapon or maybe missile or something. And then he was actually supposed to lose his life during this crash, but somehow he tried to manage by ejecting from the flight, and he fell on the ground with the parachute, and he somehow managed to recover from the injuries and saved his life. After many years of this incident, Charles Plum was having lunch with his family in a restaurant, and the waiter came up looking at him and just asked him, "Are you Charles Plum?" He just curiously asked him, "Are you Charles Plum?" And the person responded to him saying that, "Yes, I am Charles Plum. How do you know me?" "I'm a really great fan of you, and I know you from a lot of your work, or right from the time when you were involved in wars and making them win." So Charles Plum asked curiously, "Okay, so that's really fine, and thank you." So the waiter later replied that, "You remember me?" Charles Plum said, "No, I don't think I really remember you, because I don't remember you in terms of where do we met and what exactly happened between us so that I can remember you." The waiter responded back then that, "I was in your technical staff of the aircraft. I was actually a technical staff member of maintenance of your aircraft which you flew for the last time." In continuation, he also mentioned that he was the one who was responsible or given the responsibility of setting up his parachute to the seat when actually the pilots eject and the parachute open. And he was the one who set it up for him while doing that. Now, Charles Plum got up from the seat, hugged him, and thanked him for doing this excellent job. Probably it was this man, because of him, the life was saved. So, Charles Plum, being a great pilot, being a great warrior, and having a lot of experience of itself or himself, he could have actually proven that No, it's me being a pilot. I'm a good pilot, so I know how to escape, how to save people, how to fight an aircraft is like my baby. And I know how to handle aircraft better than you. So he could have actually gained all that pride there. But instead of doing that, he actually hugged the person, stating that probably it was you. If you wouldn't have done your job better or properly, maybe the parachute wouldn't have opened, or maybe the ejection wouldn't have worked, and maybe I could have died then and there itself. And probably it is you because of which I'm living the second life. So it's actually very important that you try to put the credits to somebody else, where you think that you are nothing. You are nothing about yourself without others. And that actually helps you to free up your memory as well. That helps you lot to understand and grab new information or new learnings. The moment you think you know everything, I think you understand that. You stop learning there. The same way here. The moment you stop thanking somebody, you stop gratitude towards other people, the good things stops happening with you, and you start building that negative attitude towards other people and stop, getting that patience, listening skills, and in turn, of course, you get anger. So it's just like, anything happens to you, anything good happens to you, you try to give the credit to somebody else. Maybe because of her, maybe because of him, this happened. If he or she wouldn't have been there, maybe I wouldn't have reached you. And that is actually a good habit to keep you calm, keep you patient, and ready to accept anybody's statement. And I don't think you need anything other than that. The gratitude can fulfill all your needs towards anger control management. You can do that very well without having anything else to say. That was amazing, and thank you for joining us for this particular discussion, and really pleasure to have you here. So, viewers, I think you really understood that what exactly the anger management is all about. Why do we actually get angry, and how we can actually find several reasons among us to identify the core root cause of getting that anger, and also at the same time how we can inbuild or create that remedy of gratitude towards people so that we can be down to earth and control our anger. So thanks for joining us for this motivational talk. I hope you really enjoyed and understood a lot about anger management in this discussion. If you really like the video, do not forget to like and share among your friends, which could sound helpful to others as well. We'll get back to you next Tuesday with another talk. Till then, stay motivated.